What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market had a tremendous day today. S&P 500 up 42 points, up 1.3%. Dow Jones up over 300 points, up 1.2%. And the tech-heavy Nasdaq was up $1.90, up 1.7%. And the small cap index, the Russell 2000, led the way up over 2.6%, up about 40 points on the day. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals here, going over the top stocks that I'm watching and looking to buy right now, many of which are breaking out. And I made a bunch of moves today that I want to update you guys on. So we're also going to talk about trades I'm involved with right now, as well as my thought process and kind of how I'm approaching this current stock market that we're in. So if you guys find value, as always, hit that like button for me. I challenge you guys, let's try and get 500 likes on this video. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to join our Strive Smart Discord chat, our Facebook group, and also claim a free stock from Webull. Literally free money, valued up to $1,600, one stock. All you have to do is deposit $100 into the account using that link, and that is how you get the free stock. And again, all of those are linked right down below in the description box. So let's get into it, guys. S&P 500, Nasdaq, Dow, Russell. It was a very strong day, a very bounce back day, a very strong bounce back day in the markets today. And one thing right off the bat that stood out to me today, and you guys will probably agree with me on this as well, is a lot of the run up, and I'm not discrediting this run up today, guys. Very strong day for the bulls, but a lot of the run up came in the beginning of the day, the first hour of the session. The S&P went from 3360 at market open, massive bull candle here, about 10 points. We rallied up, sold off a bit there, but ultimately we rallied from 3360 all the way to about 3400, all in the span of the first hour, right? And from that point, what you guys notice is we downtrended for the rest of the day, at least here on the intraday chart. You guys can see it based on that trend line that I just drew. And that scares me a bit. That scares me a bit, guys. I'll be completely honest, because if we pull back a bit, back to that 5-day, 5-minute chart, notice where we were struggling for the rest of the day, right? Yeah, we had a massive morning, but notice where we struggled at a lower high based on this overall downtrend pattern. That is it's putting me in a skeptical spot, because if this ends up selling off tomorrow, this could very well just be a lower high in the downtrend, and we could be continuing the sell-off, right? And you guys can see it for yourselves. I mean, lower high at 3480, the next one was at 3450, the next one was at 3425 on the 9th, 10th of September, and now it's at about 3400. That's if we end up dumping, and you may be asking yourself, what will confirm that lower low? Well, if we start pushing down and testing 3340. That is the level that we held last week. We held it multiple times last week, and we closed above it on Friday. So if we end up selling off tomorrow, and that's a possibility here, guys, based on these technicals, I would watch to see if 3340, 3330 is able to hold on the S&P. That is where I think we could be filling down if we were to sell off. And let's say we saw another big green day tomorrow. That would be very good for the bulls, because, and especially if we break out of 3420. Once we start getting out of those highs from last week, each resistance we break, the stronger and stronger that bull rally will be. So once we break 3420, if we break that, we could be going back up mid 3400s, back up to 3500. That's kind of what I think could happen here. And pulling back on the hourly chart, you guys can see it in an even from an even better perspective, right? Today's little sell-off was at a lower high from last week's, and also it was right under the 180 SMA here on the hourly. So this goes to show, again, 3420, this needs to break. This 180 SMA needs to break before I'm all in on the bull side. At this point, guys, quite honestly, I'm still, in the short term, a bit bearish in the markets, and the technicals are backing that up. So until we see that reversal completely in the technicals, I'm going to be pretty cautious. I'm going to be playing it safe with a lot more cash in my accounts, and we'll go over what I did today, which I actually took some profits. So I'm actually raising even more cash at this point in time. And again, we'll go over that here in a couple of minutes. So overall, watch out for those levels on the S&P here. The Dow Jones, a lot of the same, right? We're trending under the 180 SMA here on the hourly chart. We failed breaking out of those highs from last week, right around 28,200. And if we go onto this intraday chart, a lot of the move came in the first hour. Then we saw consolidation under main resistances. So I don't think we're still out of the woods yet. Quite honestly, I don't think we're out of the woods yet, and the technicals back that. And let's say the Dow's able to break 28,200. It starts, going up mid 28,000s. Yeah, that would be pretty good. I'll be honest. That would be pretty good for the bulls. We might start to get a reversal, but the truth is we're not there yet, which is why, again, we have to approach with caution. Same thing with the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq today seeing a big resistance on this 50 SMA on the hourly chart. It's at a lower high. We did not break 11,500, which was a big resistance from last week. Yeah, we did hold 10,900, 11,000 today. We gapped up above it, but short term, the bears seem like they are still in charge. You can see that on the hourly chart, the 5-day, 5-minute, and you can see it on, kind of on the intraday chart as we really downtrended for the majority of the day, other than that nice pop in the morning. So be careful, guys. That's the moral of the story. Yeah, markets are bouncing back, but we could very well continue selling off from here. I don't think we're out of the woods quite yet, and I'd love to know what you guys have to think. And speaking of the precious metals market, silver was up about 3 cents, nothing crazy here, or actually that's what it's up now. Let me double check and see what it did for the day today. Overall, silver was strong today. It went from 26.90 at about 6 a.m., rallied to about 27.50. So silver's looking strong based on the intraday chart here, and same with gold. I mean, gold rallied from about 1950 to 1970. Now we're consolidating a bit. Futures are up about 2 points, up about 0.1% right now. So things are looking strong, guys. Things are looking strong. And yeah, precious metals markets, they move a bit different from the S&P, Dow, and Nasdaq, but they pulled a green day today. So all green across the board. And again, I'd love to know your thoughts on this down below in the comments. Do you agree with me that we're not quite out of the woods yet? Are you loading up cash? Are you doing this or that? Let me know down below in the comments. Now, let's talk about what I personally did today. What am I holding? And let's just get into it, guys. So Workhorse Group is one of my holdings right now. I'm in at about $23, and this is one that I've been trading religiously. Let's put it that way. In and out for the past couple of weeks here. And $23 is where I got in last week. And at this point, you guys may be asking yourself, did you take your profits, Stas? The truth is, no, I did not take my profits here on Workhorse. I have a trailing stop loss on it, which is a way for me to mitigate my risk here and for me not to lose a bunch. If the stock were to go down, it'll take a profit for me if it drops. I think I have the trailing stop at like 2% or something like that. So we might hit that tomorrow. We'll see. But overall, I think Workhorse is a hold for me at this point. I have a good cushion built. Again, I'm about in at about $23, and we're up to about 26. And for me, guys, I think every day that goes by, we're going to be getting more and more hype around the stock as it could strike a deal with the USPS at any second, right? And tomorrow, actually, President Trump has a rally in Ohio, which is where this company's headquarters is located. And who knows if he hints to something regarding Workhorse. And this is pure speculation, guys. Obviously, don't just, base your trades on what could happen, right? I mean, yeah, there is a bit of speculation there, of course, but don't just base it on, if President Trump speaks about Workhorse, I'm going to buy it just because of that, because he might not say anything. But all I'm saying is, if he does mention it, if he hints towards, electric vehicles, for the USPS or anything with the company in Ohio there, we might see a rally even higher later this week. So for me, yeah, I'm up on the position, but I feel like I'm going to hold on to it. And honestly, it's a longer term hold for me in this particular account that I do hold it in. And at this point, yeah, that's the truth, guys. I really like this company, and I'm just holding on to it in at about $23 per share. And you guys know I've also been picking up Tesla shares over the past couple of trading days here. Bought in at 487, lowered my cost at 418, lowered it even further. I went pretty heavy at 355, and today, finally, after a couple of days of holding, I turned a profit. We were up on Tesla 13% today, guys. The stock was. I wasn't. The stock was up 13%, but my average cost was right around 400, so I decided right before the market closed today to trim a little bit. I trimmed a little bit at $419, right around there, and you guys can see that is where it was. Excuse me, guys. Right as the market closed, so I trimmed a little bit there with Tesla. And overall, I don't even know. I'll calculate it for you guys here. It was around a 5% move. I didn't sell out of it completely. I just trimmed a little bit of profits there. Again, like I said earlier, to raise a bit more cash in this time period where I think the markets, there's a decent chance we could go lower. So I ended up doing that with Tesla, and I ended up nibbling a little bit of NEO stock as well at about $18.50. Ticker symbol NIO. And it was later in the day, kind of midday actually, when we took that little dip to about 18.25, started rallying, made a higher low, started pushing up from there. I ended up putting a limit order, and I filled for a small position here on NEO. And ultimately, guys, if we take a look at the chart here, this thing has been consolidating for a couple of days, and now it seems like it's pushing upwards. It's making that bullish push. Momentum's looking like it's shifting. And we talked about yesterday how if it were to break this downtrend, I literally drew this in yesterday's video, right? And I showed you guys this little trend line in yesterday's video as well, this arrow breaking out. And I said if that were to happen, I'm looking to get into NEO, and that's exactly what I ended up doing, in at $18.50. And I ended up selling out of my Nvidia position today, again, going back to raising more cash. I ended up getting into Nvidia at 519, had to hold a little bit through the pain there. Call it bag holding. I don't know what you guys want to call it, but I ended up holding a little bit there through the pain as it got into 470, 480, 490, and it recovered today. We popped up in the morning on some news that they're actually acquiring. We'll go over that in a second here. It's called ARM Holdings by SoftBank. And on that news, on this merger, it popped up to 530. And I was like, okay, this is my chance to get out of this position. Not that I'm bearish or anything, but just to raise some cash, right, and take a little profit. So we popped up to 530. I didn't lock it in there, but I did end up putting an order at 525 to just sell out. So I took the little profit there on Nvidia from 519 up to about 525. Nothing crazy, about under 2%, but still that's good for me, right? And this, the time frame on this trade was about a week and a half, 2 weeks, so I'll take that, on a smaller position here. And I'm still in Apple, GDX, and GLD. These are just three holdings that, quite honestly, I'm not too fidgety with. I'm not looking to get out of them in any specific time period, but Apple did well today. That's actually not true. I am looking to sell out within, the next month or two, but I feel comfortable holding them. So I'm in Apple. Again, I'm in GDX and GLD. And speaking of Nvidia, I almost forgot. I skipped over this part of my notes here, guys. They acquired ARM Holdings from SoftBank for roughly $40 billion. So that is what ended up moving up the stock today. And the deal could make Nvidia a very strong direct competitor to Intel, which it passed in market value for the first time earlier this year, and AMD, the two leading developers of microprocessors for PCs and servers based on Intel's x86 architecture. And up until now, guys, Nvidia and its graphics chips have been complementary to their microprocessor families, but competitive with their graphic chips. A push into microprocessors with Nvidia's ownership of ARM and its different RISC, which also stands for Reduced Instruction Set Computing Architecture, could be the first real challenge to its Silicon Valley neighbors. So Intel, AMD, you better watch out there. But Nvidia may face challenges from both regulators and competitors turned customers to get there. So we'll see what happens, but overall, Nvidia, they're acquiring ARM Holdings, $40 billion. That's looking pretty good, and the stock ended up going up 6% today, and it was up a lot more earlier when I sold out, but overall, 6% in the green on the close is still very, very strong. So overall, that's what I did today, guys. Sold out of Nvidia, locked in some profits across the board here on Tesla, bought a bit of NEO, holding on Apple, GDX, GLD, and that's it. I'd love to know what you guys, what are you guys doing? Let me know down below in the comments. Now, let's get into some stocks here, many of which are breaking out, and the most important one I want to talk to you guys about today is Oracle. Oracle, and this is one that we all know was the company here that is striking a deal potentially with TikTok, right? And it was supposed to be Microsoft and Walmart, and that changed last night. We got news that Oracle is now looking to be the partner here. And we got this news today from Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin that the White House received Oracle's proposal for TikTok and that the Trump administration will review it this week. The deal, if finalized, would create what Mnuchin called, quote-unquote, TikTok Global. He added that the unit would have its headquarters in the United States and create around 20,000 jobs. So, hey, if it's good for the economy, I like it. 20,000 jobs being built, that's great. That's exactly what America needs right now, more jobs being built. And I'm happy with that, quite honestly. And instead of buying the business outright, Oracle would make an investment in a newly restructured TikTok, people familiar with the proposal said, and at least 2 shareholders in TikTok's Chinese parent company, General Atlantic and Sequoia Capital, would take stakes in the new business, said one of the people. And all of these people, guys, they're anonymous right now because the terms aren't finalized. And the key word there, they're not finalized. So anything can change here. If Trump rejects this, if the administration rejects this, we could be going in on an ongoing battle with TikTok for the next month. Who knows what's going to happen, right? And if you guys don't recall, back in August, this is when Trump put this deadline, about a 45-day deadline on September 15th, which get this, guys, that's tomorrow, right? So, this is going to be pretty interesting what he does, especially if Oracle and TikTok have a falling out or whatever ends up happening, it doesn't work out, they change the terms, who knows what's going to happen, right? And in this case, Oracle, its role is going to be more as a quote-unquote, and this is what I believe Mnuchin said today. I don't even know if Mnuchin said it, honestly, but they're going to be a quote-unquote trusted technology partner, and it's going to be storing and securing the data within the U.S. premises. And in the past, from my understanding here, ByteDance they've been a bit reluctant on, their algorithm, giving it out, whatever, because it's kind of obviously proprietary to TikTok, whatever. That's how their business runs. It's obviously working, but apparently now they're looking to disclose the algorithm to third parties. So we'll see what happens, guys. Overall in the news, and this is creeping me out a bit, the stock went to 6666. So Illuminati, if you're watching my video, you might as well just hit the like button while you're at it. Subscribe to the channel. But Oracle went to 6666, guys, and it ended up selling off to about $59 in the beginning of the day. I believe it got halted at some point. You guys can maybe see it here if I zoom in a bit. Here it got halted, I believe, for a little bit. Nothing crazy. But yeah, at this point, this could be an opportunity on a dip. Yeah, it kind of was a buy the rumor. Not even a buy the rumor, sell the news, but it seems like the hype died down, right? Once we got that news, the stock jumped to 66. It sold off a bit, hype dying down. Now we might be tuning up for another rally, and that is where I might come in and take a trade, and we'll see what ends up happening. But overall, like I've been saying, guys, I'm not looking to rush anything. I'm being patient, and I'm looking to see if it sets up. And I think if we hold $59, $60, especially if we get into $60, $61 tomorrow, $62 even, that is going to be an opportunity where Oracle could be rallying up even higher, maybe to go test those mid-60s again. So I'm interested in Oracle here. And again, there's a lot of nuances to this deal. We don't know if it's going to go through. For all we know, Trump is going to reject it. He wants to change it. He wants to do this, that, the third. Who knows what's going to happen? All I know is it's in the works. We'll see what happens maybe later this week. And Oracle could end up running even further. So let me know what you guys have to think on this whole Oracle TikTok situation. And another stock here that's been beaten down, about $20 off its highs after earnings. And mind you guys, their earnings were strong, is Peloton, ticker symbol PTON. This stock went from even before earnings, from 63 to 100, down to 80. And at this point, yeah, it's downtrending over the past 2 days. It really didn't break out of its downtrend today. Here on the 5-day, 5-minute, still trending under the moving averages. But I'm thinking if we're able to hold 82, head back into the mid-80s even, this could end up being a potential bounce-back play. Maybe a continuation play here on the uptrend, right? Especially if it even holds this 180 SMA here on this 30-day chart and on this 20-day chart if we're able to hold that trend line that I drew. So watch out for Peloton. It could go lower, but if it's able to consolidate, if we're able to see some sort of momentum shift to the upside, this can be a nice swing trade, maybe even a day trade, guys. This stock is one of those that it's obviously a newer age stock. It's very volatile for the most part, so it could make a 5-10% move in a day where you don't even have to swing trade it. If you're a decent day trader, maybe you can catch a move there. So I'm watching Peloton here, and one that we haven't talked about in a while, it's kind of moving sideways a bit, you guys will notice in a second here, is Shopify, ticker symbol SHOP. This one has been quiet, I'll be honest, guys. Ever since it hit about 1,050, back in, when was this? Wow, this was actually the end of June, heading into July. So, wow, Shopify's been cooling off for about 2 months, guys. 2.5 months. Shopify's been consolidating between 1050 resistance and support around 900. So it's been in this 150-point window. And at this point, what you notice is every time, at least the past couple of times, we've hit 900, we've seen a decent rally off those lows. So am I saying we're going to go back up to $1,100, $1,000? No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is we can see a decent move off of 900, maybe up to the mid-900s, maybe 975. That's kind of where I'm looking to maybe play this stock. And you guys can see overall, I mean, today was a decent day. We closed at 930. We're actually about 10, 12 points off of the highs from today. So it really depends on how much money, you're trading, if it's worth this little move. It depends on your, account, obviously, your opportunity cost, because let's say $1,000 in Shopify, if that's all you have, and you can, what the heck? Did you guys hear that? My I have this Google assistant. I don't know, it's weird. She talks sometimes without me even saying any commands. That's kind of creepy. But yeah, either way, guys, Shopify, if you have $1,000, maybe this is not the best stock to go with. But if you have a bigger account, and by all means, guys, do whatever you want. Honestly, don't even listen to me. This is not financial advice. But if you only have $1,000, maybe something else could pique your interest more than Shopify. But for me, I like it here. If we're able to break 950 even, we might see a bit of a rally there. So watch out for Shopify. And the next one here is Boeing. It's kind of similar in a sense to Shopify's pattern, but it's stretched out a bit. Again, Shopify's been on a sideways trend for about 2 months. Well, Boeing has been on this little sideways, even a little bit of a downtrend here for more like 4 months. I mean, this thing is crazy. More like 3.5 months. This thing's been going from 240 down to about $1.60, rallied back up to 200. Now it's back to $1.60, looking to pop out and break above 170. So I'm looking at Boeing here as more of a bounce back play, and it did do well, up about 3% today. It has been breaking out a little bit here as of late, but I'm interested to see if this breakout will continue. And again, if 170 breaks, $170, that is where we could see a massive move. I mean, and take a look at the charts. You can see when it hit $1.50 back in the beginning of August, it went from $1.50 to $1.70, and then from $1.70, once that resistance broke, it went all the way to 190. So again, if 170 breaks this time, maybe we don't go to 190, but maybe we go to the mid 170s. Maybe we go to 180. So for me, I think there's potential there on a beaten down stock. And we already know in the pits of the crisis, Trump was telling us Boeing's not going out of business. And we already know Boeing's not going out of business, even though they're having trouble right now. The Fed, the government is going to bail them out. They're going to back them up. So this is not going bankrupt. So if you're scared a little bit about Boeing here, don't be that scared. Don't be that scared because understand the government is backing this company. But then again, it's still volatile. It's still volatile, but overall, as long as it's trading at 170, 165, 160, I think there's potential here with Boeing. And two other ones here, guys, are going to be more restaurant-oriented. The first one here is Starbucks, ticker symbol SBUX, up almost 1.6% today. I'm loving the way we held 85, rallied off of that old resistance today as a new support. I'm loving it, right? And if we zoom in a bit onto this hourly chart, notice how, and if I redraw this, notice how we actually took out this mini downtrend that we were in over the past couple of days with today's move. Notice that. We hit $89 back on the 3rd of this month, and we were making lower lows, lower highs all the way up to the 11th of this month, which was Friday. And now we're gapping out. We popped out. We broke out of that. And it seems like this is shooting straight up to the 90s. That's exactly what these technicals are telling me. Does that mean it's going to happen? Not necessarily, but it is a good first step that we broke that little downtrend wedge that we can see here on the hourly. So watch out for the move on Starbucks back up to maybe 88, 89, 90 bucks. That's kind of where I'm looking to capitalize on this. And Cheesecake Factory, good old cake today, guys, up 8.7%, up $2.50. I'm loving the way we held 28 bucks. And if you guys take a look here on the 90-day chart, you can see it's 28 bucks, 27 bucks. That is an old resistance, right? We held it as a new support. We also held, if I extend this to the right a bit, we also held the 180 SMA. The 180 SMA here on the 2-hour chart, 90-day 2-hour chart at a higher low. We're rallying up today. We broke above 30, which was a resistance. So I'm looking at cake here as a breakout play. It's continuing its uptrend. You know, I'm looking to see if it goes to the mid-30s. So for me, I like this stock. And to be honest, if it breaks under 30 tomorrow, that's going to be a bit of a warning sign. I'm going to be honest. But if we're able to see a big gap up above 30, maybe open up at $31 and start to push up from there, that would be a very bullish sign. That would be good for my thesis here. And if we're able to break, again, above 32, I can see this thing moving back up even higher. And you guys know, mid-30s is not too out of the question here, even $40, especially if we get more good news about a vaccine, if the economy across the country here slowly gets back to normal, we open up the restaurants at full capacity, you know, if that ends up happening at some point in the next 6-12 months, which it will slowly, you know, phased out here, you know, cake and many other restaurant stocks, Starbucks included, right? McDonald's as well. I love those companies. I think they're poised to bounce back and do very well. And one would argue that McDonald's hasn't even taken a hit. I mean, we saw their earnings last quarter. I mean, from my memory here, they did take a hit. Obviously, a lot of companies did. Well, most of the companies did. A lot of tech names didn't. They actually did better. But McDonald's, you can argue that with the takeout lines, all this stuff, they survived. Obviously, they survived, but they did a lot better than other companies. But they still got hit. And there's still some room there for a fundamental bounce back, and that could end up causing the stock to go even higher. We just have to see what happens. So that's it for this video, guys. A lot that we went over today. I'd love to know what you guys have to think down below in the comment section. Don't forget to leave me a comment, and also don't forget to get this video to 500 likes. Remember, I challenge you guys, so smash that like button, and also join our free Strive Smart Discord chat, our free Facebook Pro Group. And don't forget to also claim your free stock from Webull, valued up to $1,600. That is linked down below in the description box. All of those links are right down below, and they're free of charge, right? And to get that free stock, all you have to do is deposit $100 into the account using my link, and you get the free stock, and I also get a free stock since it is an affiliate link. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, guys, stay safe out there. Good luck in these crazy markets, and remember, have that cash ready to go in case of craziness and volatility, right? Because that will be your friend. Cash is always your friend. So I'll catch you all. Thanks again for watching. Stay safe out there. Peace out, guys.